Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kalayim Layel Bashim Yashai Bashim Makakudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone, do and teach well. Those are the men who learn the truth from. Honors to the brothers pushing the truth across the four corners with all sincerity. It's the brother Tazapanya checking in with another video. And, as always, Lord is divine to the hopeful elect. I'm going to make this video kind of quick. I gotta try to run and jet over, to work again. You know what I mean? We gotta go to, enemy for one in need of all things, man. This is, the curses and things that we gotta deal with. But I just mainly want to get into Isaiah, the first chapter. This is the book of, Isaiah 101, the vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. So in the days of those kings, he saw the vision. All right. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Yeah, the Lord nourished and brought up children. He watched over us, right? Like today is the end of Passover, right? That's an example of how the Lord, nourished us, man. He brought us out of the land of Egypt, right? Brought us through the wilderness, eventually, into the land of Israel, right? And and they have rebelled against me, right? So the children represents the children of Israel, the Lord's chosen people, right? And when you read the third chapter, it's going to name Israel exactly, but there's other precepts you can get into how Israel is the Lord's chosen people, right? You can also get to Isaiah 14. I think it's Isaiah 50 and like 1. You could get it to, why am I drawing a blank here? It was Isaiah 47, I believe it is, Malachi 3 and 6. I recognize that one. Then like New Testament, like Matthew 1 and 21, Romans 9 as well. You can get into that. No plus into Luke 1 and 70. It's just too many to mention, but there's plenty that goes into how salvation is only for the children of Israel. And you also got the Deuteronomy 7 and 6, the Lord's chosen people, special people, the children of Israel. Okay, but then you have to get into who are the children of Israel, of course, and that's in Genesis 49. All those different traits and things like that. You can look towards that, and you could see that. Yeah, it's talking about you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. Of course, the breakdowns of that comes from, our elders, like the elders of our elders, on down. You know what I mean? And then that's how we, I think it was High Priest Arya who came up with the 12 tribes sign originally. But, you know what I mean? It came from our elders on down, man, The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Yeah, so, brothers always go into the example of, how you own a dog or you own a cat. The dog and the cat knows that you're, its master, I have a dog, so I'm going to use the dog example. The dog knows who its owner is, right? Like, when I come down and even the dog sees my presence, right, she knows it's time for food, that I'm going to get food. She starts getting excited, hopping all around, jumping all over the place. You know what I mean? The dog, they consider, they know, right? But our people, they don't consider the Lord. They don't consider Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They think that, what we're saying is made up, or they think that we're just a bunch of crazy people, that we're a bunch of criminals. Was it that we're in a cult, like all manners of wicked, evil thoughts they have against us, man. You know, they see us and say, man, it's a bunch of bum ass, ninjas on the street, man. You know what I mean when I say ninjas, man. You know what I mean? But that's what they say. That's they type of shit they be saying. Or they'll walk by and scoff and say, Jesus Christ is Lord. You know, because they know what this is about. Right? This thing is all over the internet. Right? It's just the Lord. Got the Lord. Got these demons on these people, man. Right? Because right, the elect have seen it and the rest are blinded. So these 2/3 out here are blinded. They got spirits on them, so they're not gonna get it no matter how much you try to teach them. All right. So yeah, people don't consider. All right. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, which means sin upon sin. See the evildoers, children of corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel to anger. They have gone away backwards. Yeah, destroy, corrupt, decay. Yeah, another word for corrupt or perish, utterly waste, ruin. Like another word for see, pervert. Yeah, ruin. Pervert means to like be crooked. Like these are perverted, crooked, ruin, like corrupted people, man. Right? The way they act from the music. You know what I'm saying? All of it. You know what I mean? People are bugged out. And it all goes back to our people. Going off, following the gods of these different nations, and Lord, you'll bring the curses upon us. Deuteronomy 15 and Deuteronomy 28 and 15 on down. Right? That's what happened. It's only in these times, right? The curses are being turned back on our enemies, for one, and two, the Lord has risen up and elect. Well, actually, the first one's that the Lord has risen up like remnant. That's really number one. Right? A remnant, that not bow the knee to Baal, and it's called a certain remnant to them that won't, listen to the society that are gonna turn back, right? That 1/3, which within the 1/3 you have the 144,000 and the rest of the elect, right here in America, Zechariah 13 and 8, all right. But the rest, man, they're the 2/3, so they're destined for destruction, right there. As a year, man, this see the evildoers, corrupt people, man, continually turn the Lord, to anger, man. You know what I mean? That's why the Lord is gonna, have them be destroyed, man. Because the Lord put His men out there week in, week out, and the people, they laugh, scoff, and don't listen. They think that everything is a damn joke, right? Everything's a damn joke. Everything is about laughter and poking fun and whatever. But that's what these people out here think. I was watching another brother. He was kind of talking about how his brother's from like South Carolina or something. He was one of the elder brothers out there. I can't remember which channel. It wasn't Ellen Manizapa. It was another one. But he was talking about how he went like yesterday, or let's say during the day before Shabbat, of course, right? To I think he said he was going to go exercise or something with another brother, and he said that he was around a bunch of Jake, and all Jake talk about is sports, woman, and whatever YouTube talk about, everything except what the prophets teach, and that's true. That's all Jake knows. That's all that's in Jake's head. Brain rot. Just fucking all types of dramas, online beefs, but nothing pertaining, not even anything pertaining to the news or geopolitics or global finance or nothing like that. It's all about drama and stupid shit. You know what I mean? Distractions. All Jake knows. Distractions, right? Jeremiah 30 and 9. This is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Alright, so that's what it is, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a rebellious people. They don't want to hear the law of the Lord. They don't want to hear these precepts. They don't want to hear the prophecies, man. They don't want to hear nothing. All they want to hear about is rapping, selling drugs, strains of fucking weed, to fucking folly, and that's it, man. And watch bitches with fat asses, I guess. I don't know. That too. Alright. What say to the seer, see not unto the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speaking to us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Yeah, that's what they always say. Why y'all always out there? Why y'all sound so mad? Why don't you ever talk about something positive? Oh, you know what I mean? All that scoffing bullshit, right? We do talk about things that are positive, all right? We talk about the kingdom. The kingdom is very positive, right? Our people being in their right state of mind, right? Us being in one mind with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Us having the heathen under us as slaves, right? Having the resources, having our nation built up, us being in our land again, us being able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, keeping the Passover in the land, right? You know what I mean? Such things are something to be looked forward to, right? It's beautiful, right? But we know that on this side, right, that to reach that other side, there will be, trouble. That they go through Jacob's trouble. We also know the Lord will watch over his elect and take care of them and put them and give them the spirit to endure in those times. And we pray that we be those men so that we can, receive salvation on the other side. The straightness of his salvation, more than anything that they hoped for, was in Solomon chapter 5 and 1. That's what we seek for. Alright, so these chicks, you just don't get it. They see us and they think all we do is just yell and curse out Esau, man. It's more than that, man. It's actually much more than that. Get into the prayers and into the Hebrew, because we're a nation of kings and priests, man. So, that's what, like, you see with Passover, the whole ceremony and things like that. We are a nation of kings and priests. It's more than you think, but these people don't understand that. Plus, it's not given to them. So let that be that. The willing edified, and I say shalom.